right, let me get straight into this lesson. All right, but I was meditating heavily in the spirit, and a great sense of mourning came across me. All right, that our people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, and it's been, destroying our people ever since they fell away from the Lord and the commandments thereof. They have became lost. They've became hopeless. They became bugged out. They became degenerate. They became black, right? And that's a crazy thing that our people call themselves black. Because when you go into the definition black, it's associated with something negative, evil, death, right? And our people are lost. And Christianity has failed our people and all these other so-called religions, right? This is a nightmare in Babylon. And I use this movie right here because this is a terrifying movie when I was little. Nightmare on Elm Street, because every day it's like we wake up in this nightmare, the same old shit, different day. You got our people starting to get worse day by day, right? They so stupid. They so ignorant. All right, they just locked into folly, locked into ignorance. They prefer to stay there on in the stupidity, man, and this vexation of spirit, right? And our people don't, okay, let me say it like this. This the only thing that got the answers is the truth. All right, nothing else that you could conjure up has the answers to this suffering our people continue to go through. They looking for answers. They looking for the reason why. Yet it's laid out in the scriptures, but they too stupid to comprehend it. All right, because the Most High blinded them because he want to put them to death. All right. But this is a nightmare in Babylon, aka America. But our people looking for why things are the way they are with our people, while we continue to suffer, while we on the bottom, while we continue to be submersed in poverty, submersed in mental illness, which is demons, submersed in out of orderness, all right, submersed in foolery, submersed in folly. All right, let me get into this first scripture. But everything else has failed our people. The so-called black conscious community has failed our people. The so-called Christian church has failed our people. So-called Islam has failed our people. So-called Buddhism has failed our people. So-called Hinduism has failed our people. The so-called Jehovah's Witness has failed our people. These so-called leaders have failed our people, down to your Martin Luther King, down to your Malcolm X. All right, because it was not the truth. This is the book of Deuteronomy 28:1. And it shall come to pass, if thou should hearken diligent unto the voice of thy God, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, not God and fucking Jesus. You got to get that demon out you, man, to observe and do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua will set thee on high above all nations on the earth. And this will be pertaining to the Israelites. So you see what a so-called white man is at right now? That was supposed to be you, right? But our people went off and started doing idolatry, as they do to this very day. And that's the reason why we keep seeing them getting jacked up. That's why they continue to be in poverty, continue to be lost, continue to call themselves black, continue to call themselves Mexican, Indians, all this demonic stuff, man. All right, let me scroll down on this. And you can read about all the blessings. But it did come with stipulations that'll be curses. Let me jump down to Deuteronomy Salakia 28. And let me go to 13 Salakia. Let me go to 15 Salakia. But it should come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken, listen unto the voice of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, and our people crying out to these idols, crying out to Jesus, crying out to God, crying out to Jesus Christos, crying out to Allah, crying out to Buddha, All right? Slovakia. Crying out to all these idols, man. All right, Deuteronomy 28 and 15. But it should come to pass if thou would not hearken. So this is the reason why our people in this condition. Can't nobody else give you the answers. And a lot of our people, when we read out these scriptures, they don't want to accept it. That's fucking on you then. But not hearken unto the voice of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, thy God, thy power, to observe and do all his commandments. He got a certain way he wanted you to live. All right. You can't continue to do idolatry. You can't continue to celebrate Christmas. You can't continue to celebrate Easter. All these pagan holidays, man, and expect a good outcome. That's why we tired of fucking talking to you people, man, that's not listening. And his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses, you hear what they're saying? You have some monkey-minded of our people that will acknowledge that we curse, but they stop there. They got a mental stupid block on them. Shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So that's the reason why we in this condition collectively as a people. You have a few of these jakes that so-called make it, but they sold themselves out to the so-called white man. We can't make it no clearer than that. And you can read about all the curses. All right, so let's jump down to a particular part I want to show you. Let's read 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment. Black. They go those black people. They go them Mexicans. All right. So on and so forth. A proverb, a byword that's going back into all these things I just said. They go them niggas. All right. Spooks, you name it. Right. Go down the list of the insulting words. Among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee. You see this? So that's the reason why it's like this. 41. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them. What happened in, you had something called slavery, right? That our people like to duck and dodge like the shit didn't fucking happen. And these Edomites, they don't develop our people's mind to not care about their own suffering and not care about their own people suffering. For they should go into captivity. They should what? They should go into captivity. That's why you had something called the transatlantic slave trade, and you had the first slave trade was the so-called Native Americans that our people don't want to fucking acknowledge, man. Let me start down on this. Salakia. Let me read 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies. That's why you serving these fucking jobs, these corporations that our people gloat and tout that they got a job. That's insanity to me, man. Right? Which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and nakedness and want of all things. So you stupid motherfuckers will go spend all your hard-earned so-called money at the Fendi store. All right? When these people calling you all kind of names under their breath, they hate you wearing their shit. But this is how stupid this nation have become. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until how he has destroyed thee. Google a picture of yoke of iron and you're going to see a so-called black man come up. Right? 49, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flight. The so-called white man. Those devils. A nation whose tongue thou should not understand. We spoke Hebrew. They got you niggas speaking English and you love it. 50, a nation of fierce countenance. The so-called white man is brutal and he still is. He a devil, a demon, which should not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young. Look at those plantations. They whipped and beat old people, and they whipped and beat young people, had them in picking cotton, man. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to go into some pictures on that, man. All right? They had no mercy on the old. They had no mercy on the young. They didn't give a fuck like they still do. And our people applauding this devil. 51, because our people marvel at the so-called white man wealth and money, but he stole everything. You marveling at a criminal. 51, and he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed. Are we not destroyed as a people? We don't have shit collectively. Which also should not leave thee corn, wine, or oil, nor the increase of thine kine or flocks of thy sheep, until he had destroyed thee. All right. But that's why we come with so much intensity, so much anger, because oppression makes a wise man mad. Somebody got to speak up for our people, because most of our people too fucking scared, man. Let me go here, man. This is the nightmare in Babylon that you call America. The so-called American dream is a nightmare, right? Let's go here. And I thank the Lord for putting a heavy spirit on us, man. All right, because somebody got to say something, man. Matthew 15:14. Leave them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind, so our people gravitate to these fucking rappers. They'll gravitate to these politicians. They'll gravitate to whoever that tickles their fancy, so to speak. Right? But they ain't giving you no answers. The Christian church has no answers, man. It's the same song and dance and the fake prosperity pimping. And if the blind lead the blind, both should fall into the ditch. That's why our people are in this state of being bugged out and lost and confused, abused and traumatized. All right, we tell them that they traumatized. They say they not traumatized. Bugged out people, man. Let's go here before I close it out. Romans 11:7. What then? Israel have not attained, which is seeking for, because our people looking for answers. They looking for prosperity under these devils. They looking for some kind of relief. They looking for some kind of way out of this. But the election, the elect of Israel, we found the answers. We found the truth, right? We know what's going on, whether you believe it or not. And the Lord raised up regular men. That's a stumbling block to you people, because you love celebrity. You love people of status of this world. The Most High ain't get down like that, man. But the election have attained it, and the rest were blinded. So that's why people don't know shit. That's why people dumb down, stupid, demented, demonic, all out of order, doing as thy will, satanic. But yet on the other side of their mouth, they'll say they about their God-fearing. Fucking liars, man. And we calling you out. Call Allah, Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashim, Rakah.